Hey, you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south. More specifically, we are in the oldest city in the United States, St. Augustine, Florida. One of my favorite cities. So many wonderful things to do here today. And I figure we spent a whole day here on our US 1 buoy to buoy road trip. I'm currently standing in front of Castillo de San Marcos. This is a fort, dates all the way back. They completed the building of this fort all the way back in 1695. This dates back to when Spain owned Florida. They built this fort to keep the English out of Florida, and I figured we'd go ahead and head inside. So please follow me. Yeah, pretty impressive when you think about how old this is, how it is still standing. Again, one of the oldest forts in the country. So just reading a little info about the fort. This pit down here, you can actually see there's like a walkway here. There's a pit. You can actually see the drawbridge over there. Originally, under that drawbridge would be the moat to protect the castle. They said that as part of the restoration process, they decided to remove the water from the moat. I guess probably causing degradation in other parts of the castle. So it is a national park now, and you have to get a ticket here to enter the castle itself. Okay, so it's $15 a person to get in. However, brought along my America the Beautiful pass. I think this thing is almost paid off. I think maybe one more admission fee to a national park, and I will cover the $80 fee that I paid for this. I have to wonder, the moat here, if it was indeed filled with alligators. You always hear about alligators in moats. And would have had access to alligators here in St. Augustine. Makes me wonder. Now it says that this fort was under constant attack even before they finished building it. They were constantly staving off attackers. And this originally would have been the drawbridge where they could actually pull it up to as a last form of defense. If someone tried to cross the bridge, they could pull it up and keep people out. So yeah, this is just think about the battles that took place here. Just kind of like kind of like almost like a medieval castle in a way. Kind of how we picture medieval castles in modern day, that sort of battle taking place right here in America. But let's head inside. Let's head into the fort. Conquer the gates here. This is the portcullis here. This is another means of defense. They would slide this out to protect from invaders. And here is the courtyard. I said to head left, and it'll take us through the tour. Oh, this is a well right here. Don't fall in the well. Yeah, it's going to give you a look at what the fort looked like from above. We just entered the courtyard here, walked past the well. See this piece that was removed from the outside. It actually has the Spanish coat of arms carved into the stone. And this is the Sally Port door. It says that this was actually installed by the U.S. Army in the 1820s. Apparently they gained control of the fort from the Spanish, and they installed this wooden door themselves. The storeroom in here where they keep all their fruits and vegetables, their barrels full of presumably liquor, and their big sticks for working the cannons. And here we have this cannon that was found in the moat. Apparently this cannon actually backfired and exploded during a battle in 1702 as they were having a siege So imagine the force it takes to explode a cannon that would break that off from the other part of the cannon. That's pretty insane. So a little tableau over here of them firing the cannons. So between 1763 and 1783, the fort was actually occupied by the British. So it is belonged to the Spanish, the Americans, and the British. And this is what the living quarters would have been like during the British era. You can see them hanging their red coats off their bunk beds. And then they got their little table here to play cards and dominoes. Need a few oranges and cheese while passing the time. And here is a enlistment booth where you would sign up to join the Spanish Army. So the King of Spain wants you to join the Spanish Army. Sign up here and collect your pay of 2 escudo gold doubloon. Here is a chapel area, and on the walls there is these bins, or at least there used to be like a bowl there that would contain holy water for people to dip their fingers in. And it actually says that probably the oil from human hands over all the years eroded the bowls away. Yeah, so in 1821, the United States takes over the fort. They rename it Fort Marion, which certainly doesn't have the zest to it that Castillo de San Marcos does. And yeah, I guess they use this in wars against the native people. And this is interesting. It talks about the inscriptions on the cannon here, saying that they would personalize the cannons in the Spanish seal inscribed there, but also they would put other information. It says, this translates to the one from Milan is the name of the cannon. It also says that the inscription would tell what the cannon was made of. And because we are in Florida, they have the heat index here. Shows us what level we're at today. We're far away from extreme danger. We're in the realm of caution, which says use discretion while in the heat. Drink 1 quart of water per hour. Heat cramps possible. So yeah, we would be careful, but you don't have to panic. So this is great here. This is the tidal toilet. I think this is the bottom part of the tidal toilet. So they would defecate and urinate down into this pit, and then the tide of the ocean would come in and out, causing a natural flushing. So yeah, they'd have a tube there, so the water would be pushed in, fill that up, and pull out their defecation to sea. Let's head upstairs to the top of the fort. And here we are, the top of the Castillo de San Marcos. You can look down into the courtyard. Look at this view. We can look out onto the Matanzas River here. Yeah, the fort goes right up to the water. You can stave off attacks from the water. So the cannons pointed out to the water, that cannon down there, and take out any boats that try to take this fort.
Up here in the fort. We just got up here.
Look at this tower here. We can peek inside. Oh yeah. See the different cannons here with different levels of decorotedness. Yeah, look at this cannon here. That is pretty scary. I heard the beeping. It sounds like they are doing some more work here on the site, on the park. So that kind of has like a star-shaped design to it, and it explains why right here that apparently They wanted to create these, they called it the deadly crossfire, where literally if an enemy is coming in, they're literally fighting off fire from every angle, and they have to protect themselves from almost every direction. From over here, it looks like we can peek out onto the city of St. Augustine. Yeah, I can see where I parked my car there. There's the Pirate Museum across the street. See the moat and the drawbridge area there. And we almost missed this room here. This is the soldiers' quarters. I guess we saw where some of the officers would have their bedrooms, but here the soldiers would sit in these sleep in these giant beds all together. I guess they'd get really cozy on those cold Florida nights. Yeah, I guess they ate a lot of oranges here. It makes sense. No scurvy with this battalion. We exit through the gift shop. Get yourself a little mini block Castillo de San Marcos. Some apparel. Get yourself a San Marcos shirt or a Castillo de San Marcos hat. Oh, that's interesting. This pin here actually calls it Fort Marion. I think that's the only thing in here I've seen that calls it Fort Marion. And then down there we have the collector spoons. I don't know, should we do Year of the Spoon one year and see how many collector spoons I can get in one year? Looks like we can take a walk around the perimeter here of the fort. Look out here onto the river. So this is crazy. I knew nothing about this. They apparently use this to heat up their cannonballs for when they're firing at ships. They wanted their cannonballs nice and hot, a searing, molten hot cannonball. There's a 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit. They'd have these balls heated up here, loaded directly into a cannon, and shot into the hull of a ship. Imagine if you got hit with a 1,500 degree cannonball in the face. See the oyster bed down here. All these delicious oysters. So yeah, pretty amazing just to think about that that structure there, built in the late 1600s, an absolutely ancient structure here in a relatively young country, the United States of America. You know, this fort obviously predates the United States actually being a country, and that's why they call St. Augustine the oldest city in the U.S. is because the city was actually here before the United States was formed. So the city is older than the country. And as we saw from the top of the fort, right across the street, we have the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum. Looks like we head in right here. Oh, look at the doorknobs for spooky skeletons. It looks like we start off here in Port Royal. So it talks about Port Royal, Jamaica being a pirate haven. Says that that's where privateers would base their operations out of when they were actually hired by countries to do piracy. But when that practice ended, they just became straight up pirates. It talks here about an earthquake and tidal wave in Port Royal that killed about 2,000 residents. I guess these are all items, pirate items, that were found in the wreckage of the earthquake. And the tools of the trade, the astrolabe would help guide their ships, and the weaponry that would help them rob from other ships. The axes, the flintlock pistols, the blunderbusses. Now, I visited a lot of Civil War museums that talk about how bad Civil War surgery was, but I imagine Civil War surgery probably doesn't hold a candle to pirate surgery. You can see the surgical kit here, all the different cutting and gouging instruments, and this surgeon here is pulling out this pirate's eyeball while he bites on a belt and drinks rum. So he gets nice and drunk, bites a belt, and then gets his eye plucked out. What the heck? Talks about some of the famous pirates in here, like Sir Francis Drake, and actually shows the shipwreck of his ship. This is a model, a replica of what the shipwreck looks like. And there is a recovered piece of his ship there in that bottle. Some other famed pirates here. And this shows a theoretical meeting between Sir Francis Drake and Robert Searles. It says that they actually lived 100 years apart, would not have actually met each other, but, you know, we can still write a little fan fiction. This is about drinking, how pirates would drunken themselves, different vessels to hold rum. There's some customized tavern pipes. I think it's a tavern pipe. It's a pipe you smoke in a tavern. Yeah, all the different pitchers. This is a copper rum pump. Man, pirates sure liked rum. And here we step onto the deck of a ship. Oh, look at that. Look at that scurvy pirate. And here we play the sniffing game. We take a sniff and try to figure out what's in these barrels. All right, sniff one. Smells like potpourri. Tobacco? Doesn't smell like any tobacco I've ever smelt. All right. That's vanilla. Vanilla? Butter rum. It's close, right? I'm not really smelling anything. Lime juice. Okay. Didn't get a lot of lime hints with that one. Smells like my belt. Oh, leather. I got that one right at least. Next to the restroom is the House of Pleasure. I wonder what's in here. Oh, the hatch is locked. House of Pleasure. Head out into the gun deck here. Now here we can actually fire the cannons. So we got our matchstick there, and we touch the red to the red there. Good. Oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. It was delayed. I guess it took a while for the wick to burn down. We have the swivel cannon here, a little mini cannon that you can change direction. You can aim it directly into the gift shop. And then the big mounted blunderbuss there. It talks about Thomas II, a famous pirate of Newport, Rhode Island. There is his flag there, the arm with the sword. And there is his flintlock pistol and cutlass. These belong to a real pirate. Oh, and here's Thomas II himself. Apparently he died by getting shot in the belly with a cannonball. Yikes, better go see that pirate surgeon. So this blunderbuss here, oh geez, the cannon's in here. This blunderbuss here is the exact year, make, and model of the blunderbuss that Blackbeard used. And try your hand at lifting a musket. It's pretty heavy. It says it's about 10 pounds. There's a knot tying station. Shows the different knots they would use to tie the rigging. Let's see if we can do the sailor's knot here. So you take one, you fold it over onto itself, you lay one right there, and then I don't know, so much has happened between this and this. I can barely tie my shoes. And now let's head into the captain's cabin. This is Captain Kidd's chest here. Wow, they actually do have some crazy artifacts in this museum. Much like this, the original Jolly Roger from the 1850 says there's only 2 remaining pirate flags still in existence that were actually used, and this is one of them. So this is 1850, so the later ages of piracy, but yeah, very spooky to see that coming at you through the water. Look at this sleepy pirate here. Oh, look at that, you can see his chest going up and down as he cuddles with his gun.
It was the pirate capital of the late 17th century and the wickedest city in the world.
So he's got one of his toes poking out of his sock, and the other leg, he doesn't even have a foot.
One eye open in your...
The execution dock. I wonder what they do over here. A pirate wanted poster. Here's the different wanted posters for the different pirates. And up here we can see some of their flags. That's Edward Lowe, Black Bart. I like that. The skeleton giving a toast to the pirate. That's Calico Jack. Calico Jack's flag. Oh, and here's the infamous pirate cage where they would hang a pirate as a warning to other pirates. Sometimes they'd put them in the cage while they were still alive and just let the elements kill them. See the crow there? Ready to peck off his flesh. Good luck at this. We have the head of Blackbeard. Famously, they cut his head off and hung it from the mast.
It's said that I be the most famous pirate in history, but my reign of terror lasted only 2 years.
So Reign of Terror lasted only 2 years. So all the legends of Blackbeard, all that stuff he did in 2 years. That's insane. You can see he tied his beard with wicks from cannon so he could actually light his beard on fire to be more scary.
No mercy, no quarter. There's no telling how long I could have kept stacking those high.
It's another means of execution, the garrote, where they would place that around a neck and just kind of strangle you while you're in a seat. So you're not hanging, you're sitting in a comfy seat, but you still got a tight rope around your neck. These cabinets here, you see the 10 lashes from the Cat of Nine Tails. These are pirate punishments. And this one here, Marooned, where they would leave you on an island by yourself with nothing but a gun. So you had the option to resolve the situation. Leave you one bullet, one gun. That's not going to do any good to hunt animals or to try to survive. Again, it just gives you the option to immediately relieve yourself of the situation. We're headed into Shipwreck Island, where we have different shipwreck treasures. Here we have some pirates burying a treasure chest, a 400-year-old treasure chest. They actually have the corner sticking out here so we can touch a 400-year-old chest. This is treasures from the Atocha. It's our ship that sank off the Florida Keys. Super spooky pirate skull. Mermaid figurines, some doubloons. Oh, look at all these doubloons. You can lift a real gold bar. Now, I don't, seems like that would be worth a lot of money. So you can lift it up. It's not that heavy, it's not that big of a bar, but it's still probably worth a lot of money. All these precious things recovered from the depths of the ocean. This pirate here basking in their hoard. And this is Thomas II's chest. As we learned earlier, he was a pirate from Rhode Island. And it says this is the only surviving chest that belonged to a pirate. We touched that other chest. I guess that one didn't belong to a pirate. But, yeah, that's pretty nuts. They got a lot of Thomas II stuff here at the Pirate Museum. The Hollywood Pirate section, fact versus fiction, where we find out the difference between what happens in the movies with pirates and what happens in reality. They actually have some fun props in here from movies. This is a shirt here from Captain Blood, featuring Errol Flynn, who was he played a lot of pirates in old Hollywood movies, and apparently he's one of the worst human beings to ever live. Here is an animation cell from 1963's Peter Pan, where he's fighting Captain Hook there. That's pretty amazing. And then this is a Captain Hook prop, an arm from the 2003 Peter Pan movie, which I always forget that ever existed. And we have the infamous One-Eyed Willie from Goonies, but I guess this is not the actual prop. But they do have a very old spyglass right there from the 18th century. One of the more influential pirate works, the book Treasure Island. And there's a movie poster for Treasure Island. One interesting thing about this movie is that it actually created the stereotypical way that pirates talk. One of the actors just kind of went with it, kind of had his own unique interpretation of what he just imagined a pirate might talk like, with the R's and things like that, and that became stamped in the pop culture conscious of what a pirate is. Now this is a replica of the hook worn by Captain Hook in the movie Hook, and there is a softball uniform. This actually was used in the film Hook. And of course the greatest series of pirate movies ever made, Pirates of the Caribbean. And here are some props. This is a flintlock pistol used in the original Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a blunderbuss used in the original. But here, rotating in the center, the crown jewel of the collection. That is Captain Jack Sparrow's sword from the original Pirates of the Caribbean. Also rotating down there, we have one of the cursed pieces of gold that puts a curse on all the pirates. Amazing. And as we leave, as we get ready to exit to the gift shop, that quote from the end of the movie. I love that quote. Now, bring me that horizon. All right, we got some pirate items here. The periscopes, the compasses. And look at this, the pirate nutcracker actually functions with their mouth there. Yeah, I like when nutcrackers work properly, when they can actually crack a nut, and when they do it with their mouth like they're supposed to. Some little mini ships there as well. Oh yeah, look at all those Jolly Rogers. I like these ones here, the ones that are actually in the bottle. I was always fascinated with these as a kid. I never understood how they would get a ship in a bottle. An old piratey snow globe with the glitter, the shiny treasure that pirates love to be surrounded with. So when I bought my ticket to the Pirate Museum, they offered me a combo ticket with the St. Augustine Colonial experience, which I've never done. And so I purchased a combo ticket. Now we still have to wait another hour for our tour to begin. So I'm going to wander around and see if we can find something to do in the meantime. We have these cobblestone streets back here. Let's Let's enjoy those cobbles. Oh yeah, feel those cobbles. So in the meantime, let's invoke the EM rule. Here is the St. Augustine Shipwreck Museum and Gallery. We learned a little bit about shipwrecks at the Pirate Museum, but can you ever really learn enough about shipwrecks? Let's head inside. Or not. No photos, no video allowed. Alright, so let's grab some food while we're waiting. Here is DJ's Clam Shack. I've eaten here before. They have a location in Key West as well, and I have really enjoyed my food both times I've eaten here. Oh no, don't tease me. This is the replica of the southernmost point, the southernmost buoy that we will be, we are headed directly towards. Of course, we have been to the northernmost buoy. This is the buoy to buoy road trip, headed to the southernmost point. And I guess here is a replica at DJ's Clam Shack. I guess DJ's from Key West, so only fitting, but man, such a tease. Well, looks like Guy Fieri enjoyed his visit here as well. So DJ's is known for their lobster roll. Man, I've been missing lobster. Been inland too much. But yeah, the first time I ever had a lobster roll with just butter on it was at DJ's Clam Shack in Key West, and that changed my life. I never realized such an amazing thing existed. So I got the same thing, this lobster roll covered in butter. They even gave you a little extra butter to dip the roll in. And also their special day was the clam chowder French fries here. So that is pretty interesting. Love clam chowder, so I thought we'd have it in French fry form. Oh, it's got look at that! It's a cheese curd. It's got cheese curds in it. So it's technically it's clam chowder poutine. Let's just go for it. Just go for it. Oh man. It's going through lobster withdrawals. It's exactly what I needed. Oh my gosh. So even though we're in Florida, I think it still is a Maine style, Maine style. It's got the toasted bun. I guess the butter, what I learned is that Maine has the mayonnaise style lobster rolls. Connecticut has the butter style. And then Massachusetts eats both. They offered both kinds here, but I went with the butter kind. I don't think that could be beat. Well, let's dig into these clam chowder fries. I'm intrigued by the idea of pouring clam chowder on fries. I'm gonna use the fork there to make it easier. So I got cheese curd there, French fry covered in clam chowder. That's pretty good. I guess I would love anything with clam chowder on it. Okay, so polished off the lobster roll. Like I said, the first lobster roll I ever had with butter on it was from here. And you know what? Honestly, I had some great lobster rolls in New England, but this is probably my favorite from the trip. That was just so good. One of my favorite lobster rolls in the country, I think, is DJ's here. Maybe I'm just being nostalgic for my first ever buttered lobster roll, but something hits just right about the way they prepare it. Now, I didn't have as much luck with the fries. I tried to eat all the clam chowder off there, but that is just a lot of French fries on a hot Florida day. Still delicious, but just couldn't put away all those fries. But man, yeah, what a lobster roll that was. I think there might be something special about their butter. It's got like a different color. It's almost got like an orangeness to it. I don't know. It's more delicious than the other butter on the other lobster rolls, which is usually more bright yellow or clear. Yeah, something about this butter. I've never noticed this before. St. Photios National Shrine. It says head in here. I have no idea what's back here. It says entrance free admission. Okay, so this is Shrine to St. Photios, who is a Greek saint. And this is a memorial to the Greek Orthodox people who settled in St. Augustine. Okay. Oh, wow. See the paintings there on the ceiling. I think that's Jesus. The throne there. Yeah, more murals. The altar in here, the book and the cross. Yeah, different scenes from Jesus' life. The crucifixion here. There he is being baptized by John the Baptist. It says a Scottish physician bought land in Florida he wanted to colonize and actually reached out to people of Greece to settle the area. See some of these elaborate religious robes here. The crown. And we have made our way back here to the St. Augustine Colonial experience. Our tour starts in just a few moments. Okay, while we're waiting for our tour to start, let's climb this watchtower here. See if we can get a good view of the Castillo. Oh yeah, it's actually a pretty great view from up here. You get an excellent view of the Castillo de San Marcos there. Also, you can see the Pirate Museum next door. First up, we're going to check out the blacksmith shop.
Well, I've got a mine leather bag back here. Actually, it's a double-sided bellows. I'm just working. And then rotated. So in this case, maybe I could lengthen out to more of a point. Could be, but if I kept at it. But because I want to make my hook, and I've got to strike while the iron's hot. So I'll come over to the vise. And the vise is good to kind of make a bend. Right? Without too much exertion.
Oh, there we go.
Nice. Take in the external appearance here in 2025 and come on and I'll show you how it evolved from 1740.
All right, this is the house that we are currently in, the De Mesa Sanchez house, and it shows the evolution of the house over the years. This is the current building, different additions put on over the years. This is the original structure that is from the 1740s to 1763. So 1740, the original house was built. There's the kitchen area in here. The lady there setting up some dinner. What are we having? Had some fish, some mussels of corn. I don't know why there's a fox pelt on the table, but all looks very delicious. Bedrooms in here. You can see the dolls on the bed. You can see this room here with headless mannequins wearing the period dress. Maybe one of them's gonna jam out here on the keyboard. In this bedroom here, look at that fancy indoor toilet. Better than the tidal flush.
A little bit about the flags. They're all associated with St. Augustine. This is the first one of note. This is the one Ponce de Leon flew in 1513 when he discovered Florida. If you translate his name to English, he's the Prince of Lion, Ponce de Leon.
Oh.
And then this is the Menendez flag, and probably the most well-known flag down here. You'll see it walking in the breeze over the fort as we walk. Sir Francis Drake, famous pirate, came and burned St. Augustine in 1586, so we feel obliged to show his flag. He would have arrived with his pirates on the horizon. You know, that's the inlet to the Atlantic Ocean. You know, he would have appeared one day in 1586, and he burned the town down because he didn't get the revenue from the governor that he wanted, and so he was a scourge to the Spanish all the time. Then the Union flag flew here during that British period I mentioned, And after that period, when Florida goes back to Spain, they actually flew a different flag for 37 years until now in 1821 they're a territory. So they would have flown the U.S. flag, but they don't have a star yet. They get that when they get to be a state in 1845. And they were the 27th star on the flag. Followed by the Civil War. We lost some stars, right?
Uh-oh.
So Florida was one of the original seceding states. It all started at Fort Sumter, of course. South Carolina was one of those original 7. And then there were 4 more. I didn't realize until I started working here that there are actually 2 different flags that were flown because there were 2 tranches of seceders, if you will, right? And then we have our state flag. I like it because it's a throwback to the Menendez thing, right? The cross. But it's also got the state seal on it. And it's been around since like late in the 19th century. And that's, I think, a Seminole woman who's distributing flowers into the river. And then we have Old Glory. And now
It's a replica ship here.
It's incomplete. The kids are always disappointed they can't go on it, but it does allow us to show more how it was built. So, just as review, I think I mentioned the design is something called a caravel. The Nina and the Pinta were caravels.
All right, we're gonna see the cannon fired.
Pombo here, right? So we go from his mouth down into his belly, and this is called the breech. And I'm pointing to it. Okay, Viva España! We gotta get the redcoats running. Fire the hoe! Fuego!
Oh, jeez.
Woke you up.
It's the lions in front of the bridge. This is known as the Bridge of Lions. Came over here to a classic attraction, the St. Augustine Light Station, aka the St. Augustine Lighthouse. And look at this beautiful parking lot. All these beautiful live oaks. Get a peek at the lighthouse there. But to get to the lighthouse, we actually have to enter through the visitor center here. Little museum in here. This is actually one of the steps, one of the stairs from the lighthouse. I guess they could spare a stair because there is quite a few stairs inside. There is the lighthouse keeper's uniform. We purchased our ticket. Let's head back this way to get to the lighthouse.
Okay, I'll be back.
And here it is. That towering lighthouse. And here we have it. The St. Augustine Lighthouse. I think we're going to go ahead and just head to the top. Said that there was only 219 steps, so way less than the Bunker Hill, monument. We're heading here to the bottom portion of the lighthouse. Oh, look at that. Look at that wrench you need to use to work on the lighthouse. I guess they keep supplies in here. These are the extra spare lenses they keep slid in there. So this current lighthouse was built in 1871 to replace the old Anastasia lighthouse. This one here, much taller. I guess you can see the light from 24 nautical miles away. Original lighthouse, only 15. That's hardly any nautical miles. They store the oil in here used to burn the lighthouse. I guess they would have used lard oil, so oil from pigs. I guess they had stopped using whale oil by the time this was built. You can see what it's like to pick up one of the full oil buckets. Oh yeah, that's excruciatingly heavy. And I guess we are headed up. Yeah, you can see like a winding staircase there, all the way to the top. There's a warning here, much like a warning you'd get before getting on a roller coaster. Refrain from climbing for a history of strokes, joint or back problems, vertigo, heart condition, diabetes, respiratory conditions. I think we are good to climb. Yes, you can look straight up. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see people climbing all the way up there. Well, let's do this again. I'm getting terrible flashbacks from the Bunker Hill Monument. But remember, it's only 219 steps. Bunker Hill was 290 something steps, so a big difference. And this reminds you here that the lighthouse keeper would have to go up these steps carrying that massive 30-pound bucket with him. And there's a countdown. 43rd step, 176 to go. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. This almost seems higher, but it's probably just because you can see your progress. Actually get a little peek out the window here. Oh, that fresh air is nice. You see the shadow of the lighthouse. Actually, I remember the first time I heard about the St. Augustine Lighthouse was on the show Ghost Hunters, the old ghost hunting show. And I remember they actually saw a figure scurrying down the steps. Okay, we are past the halfway point. We've come all that way. Yeah, each window we can see a little further out. Oh my gosh, how many more? Seems like a lot. This is a picture of the lighthouse keeper's daughter Wilma and her cat Smokey. And it says here that her brother, who's named Cracker Daniels, son of the lighthouse keeper, took his sister's cat and threw it off the top of the lighthouse. Fortunately, he did attach a parachute. And it says that Smokey lived, but was so scared that he disappeared for days. It says this is a warning to everyone that it is dangerous to throw anything from the lighthouse. Yeah, don't throw cats off the lighthouse. Don't be a cracker. Only 66 to go. Oh, and I think our final set of stairs here. Okay, and here we are. The view here from the lighthouse. You can see almost the entire state from here. The docent warned me to not let my hat fly off. I guess hats can come off pretty easy here. Fly over the edge like Smokey the cat. See the docks down there. Little boats. Yeah, there is a wonderful breeze up here. Kind of helps you cool off after all those stairs. Take a look here at the actual light bulb up there. You can see it currently rotating. Down there you can see the full shadow of the lighthouse. Delaying the inevitable here. At some point we are going to have to walk back down. So alas, it is time to head back down the stairs. You can see all the way to the bottom there. I think theoretically, walking down is easier because you're not fighting against gravity, you're working with it. This is me pondering Maybe I can just live the rest of my life up here on top of the lighthouse. And we have emerged. Wow. It's a beautiful view. Whew, you work for it. And now we head into the keeper's house. They have a museum in here. So this is where the lighthouse keeper would live with his family. This would be their living room here. Nice little place. I don't think I would mind being a lighthouse keeper. Maybe I could do that when I retire from YouTube. Oh, and look at this. We get to, I thought we were done. I thought we were done with the spirally stairs. Here are the cisterns, which says is where the lighthouse keeper would store rainwater. Now they have it filled with floating ships. And here's some muskets recovered from the sea. See how worn they are? Yeah, all the items in here are recovered from Shipwreck. See, there's a pistol. And it looks like there's more exhibits here. Up the stairs. Up the stairs. Okay, up here is an exhibit on shrimping. Features these miniature shrimp boats, like the one Forrest Gump used to start his empire. There is a box of shrimp from the 1950s. Now it says here that today, only 1 out of 10 shrimp you come across is actually from U.S. waters. It says most shrimp are farmed in Asia and brought over on these massive container ships. Because after all, shrimping ain't easy. Here's Heritage Boat Works, where they build classic wooden style ships. Got some here in the process of being built. Here is the Legends of the Light exhibit. Legends of the Light. So this is a model of the original St. Augustine Lighthouse, the one that this lighthouse replaced. And this is the type of bulb that would have been used at the original lighthouse. As we saw up there, the one currently up there is much, much bigger. And here we have a collection of miniature ships. There's that HMS Pandora, the Wappen von Hamburg, the Cuddy Shark, the Golden Hind. Oh, look, you can see the little worker there building this boat, which is the Florida Skipjack. And the San Mateo and the USCG Fur. That's the U.S. Coast Guard. And in here we have the Shipwreck Artifact Conservation Lab. I guess where they actually work on preserving shipwrecked items. We saw some of the shipwrecked items they had in the other museum. You can see some on the table there that they're currently working on. So all these different pieces of metal soaking in this liquid. There's a doorknob. There's a brass tack, a brass tack, a brass tack, lots of brass tacks. And apparently, I said all of these items were found on 2 different shipwrecks. So yeah, a lot of work. They have to work on the individual tacks to preserve them. They got to preserve the buttons, the clothing pin, just all these little tiny pieces. Put a lot of work into preserving them. There's a little path back here through the woods. Lee's lane. Go for a hike, why not? Be very quiet. There's a little squirrel right there. Hey, squirrely. Oh, he spotted me. Oh, he's going away. I think this trail takes us back behind the lighthouse. I was trying to see if we could get any unique lighthouse views from back here. Oh, there we go. You'll peek at the lighthouse. There's a photo op where you can be the lighthouse keeper or one of his family members. I'm the keeper. Bring me my lighthouse. On the back here, you see they have a different scene where there's actually a ghost on top of the lighthouse. And it is time to exit through the gift shop. In here you can get your mini lighthouses. Looks like these are Christmas tree ornaments. Well, these are official paranormal investigator shirts. There you see the lighthouse there with a little ghost. Yeah, there's lots of Christmas ornaments here with the lighthouse. I like this one. It's an oyster shell painted to look like the lighthouse. There we have a lighthouse snow globe. See, it's got some of the other St. Augustine locations along the bottom. There's the Castillo de San Marcos. There's the Lion Bridge that we crossed over. And let's give it a shake. Ooh, we get some Florida snow. And here we go. We got some St. Augustine Lighthouse pressed pennies. This one actually says, "I climbed the St. Augustine Lighthouse." I think I earned my right to get this this penny here. So got an old ship and one of the lions from the Lion Bridge. I have quarter penny. Then we pick our design, the "I climbed St. Augustine Lighthouse." There it goes. Automatic, no cranking required. And there we go. These shiny pennies will light our way. You know, Old Rosebuds here has been putting a lot of miles in, traveling from Chicago to northern Minnesota, then cutting across Canada, then from the top of Maiden all the way down Route 1 here into Florida. I think she needs a little TLC. And I think to give her that TLC, we should put her through this giant car wash shaped like a riverboat. Let's head in. Okay. I always get nervous. Oh, more this way. Straight forward. More this way. Am I good? Coming. We good? All right. Put her into neutral. Now this is Love's Car Wash. Headed into a tunnel of love here at Love's Car Wash. The gentleman was telling me he was familiar with my videos, some of the animatronic videos I've done. And there we go. Oh, I always like the colors. I always like when they incorporate those colors into the car wash. I always call these the Fry Guys. They're like the Fry Guys from McDonald's. That's what I called them when I was a kid. The Fry Guys. Does anyone else remember the Fry Guys? There we go. Really sudsy. Can't see much of what is going on inside or outside of the car. Super sudsy. There go the suds. watch the backup cameras. This is the ceramic shine. So we're slowly being pulled through. What's going to happen here? I just got the basic car wash. I don't know if all the features are going to activate here. See what's going on behind us? Get a nice douse there. Getting the last of the sudsies off. And I think we're going in the air tunnel. Back inside of a shiny, clean car. Wanted to be nice and shiny for when I arrive in Key West. Now that is a shiny car. Hope we don't mess it up between here and Key West. I decided it had been too long since we'd seen the ocean. Following Route 1, we saw the ocean in New England, but then kind of diverted us inland after we left New England. So came down here to Volano Beach, and Volano Beach has its own mascot, the Volano Beach Bluebird of Happiness. This is a roadside attraction. The bird itself has been here since the 1950s. A sunny day out here on the pier, but you can see the bluebird bringing happiness year after year. You can see his bill maybe a little too long because he's got kind of a stabilizing cord there connecting his bill to his mohawk. Cute little bow tie there. The bluebird of happiness. Love this hotel here in Volano Beach, the Magic Beach Hotel. They actually created this neon sign for a TV show in 1999 called Safe Harbor, featuring Rue McCallaghan of the Golden Girls, that only ran for one season. Apparently it was about, in the show she owned the hotel. Her deceased husband was a magician, which was why it was called the Magic Beach Hotel. It featured the rabbits jumping out of the hat. Okay, so this section of Volano Beach is actually a driving beach. You can actually drive your car out on to the sand. There we go. Oh my gosh, I can feel the car like sliding around in the sand. Oh, this was a stupid idea. I don't want to get stuck out here. I'm afraid to stop. What have I done? What have I done? Oh no. Oh no. This was dumb. Oh man. Oh crap. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck like an idiot. Okay, there we go. I got all-wheel drive mode on. I still want to get off this beach. I don't like this at all. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get turned around. How do I get out of there? Oh man, you see where someone else was stuck right there. I don't want to go there. I don't know why I did something this dumb. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I went off the beach. I went off the beach. I don't want to be stuck on the beach. I don't even know. I don't even know if you can get a tow truck to take you off the beach. Oh, this is where I got stuck before and I'm slowing down. Oh my gosh, you see where I was stuck there. Yeah, the all-wheel drive does a little better. Probably should have thought of that before I drove onto the daggum beach. Why am I on the beach? Why did I drive on the beach? Okay, here. I think we can leave. I think we can drive off of the beach here. There we go. Okay, I think I might have flown a little too close to the sun on that one. Decided to go ahead and park my car and walk to the beach like a normal person. Oh yeah, that does feel good to put my feet there in the sand. Is this a seashell down here? Oh, that's a peanut. Oh yes, let's make communion here with the Atlantic Ocean. I've missed you over the past few days, ocean. Oh, here it comes. Woo! It's a little chilly. So a great day here in St. Augustine, Florida. So many things to do. I had to kind of pick and choose what I wanted to do today. Really, there's so much to do. I think this city gets overlooked a lot with how many attractions there are. There's plenty of things I didn't show today. There's an actual fountain of youth you can go to. There's the Ripley's, believe it or not, really good Ripley's. We have Potter's Wax Museum. So much fun here in St. Augustine, Florida. But I think we did a fair amount. We've had a fair amount of fun today exploring the city. Tomorrow we're going to be headed down US 1, a little further down the coast, maybe into the what do they call it, the space coast, and then I think we're going to have to divert momentarily to Central Florida for the upcoming epic festivities. But thank you so much for those of you following along on this journey, following along my Route 1 buoy to buoy road trip. We've traveled all the way from northern Minnesota down here to the warmth of Florida, and we're going to continue headed downward through Florida until we reach the buoy in Key West. It's quite an adventure with plenty of more adventure out in front of us. Now, if you're new to the channel, I travel the country filming roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, other fun stuff. Sometimes I do entire highways from beginning to end. And if you like the channel, consider subscribing. If you'd like to help the channel in other ways, there's always Patreon, $3 or more, and I will send you a postcard every month. And also in the souvenir shop, we have press pennies, hotel key fobs, enamel pins, stickers, other fun stuff that's down below in the Etsy shop, and personalized messages on Cameo. If you're interested in receiving a message from me or to send a message from me to someone you care about, the link is in the description. In fact, all those links are down in the description, and all those things help keep this train on the track, this ship in the water, this dirigible in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.